In our next movie to analyze, we have Catch Me If You Can. It debuted in 2002. Um, the character in this name is named Frank, is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and we have Frank Abagnale Jr. Generally, Frank Abagnale Jr. raises hell. He goes throughout the world, frauding checks, counterfeiting currency, generally stealing. So and the thing is, who knows if this guy is actually a real person? Because this movie's based off of supposedly real events, and a lot of the real events that our elites have made for us are sometimes fake, in some ways contrived, right? Is from what I've discovered at least. So who knows if this is really a real story or not? But generally goes with the same flow of things that Frank, generally raises hell, and we just keep seeing this motif repeat again and again and again. So, and then we'll find another one. Let's go with Old School. So we have Old School in 2003. Let me see if I can move that there. There we go. We have Old School from 2003, in which Will Ferrell plays Frank. Frank generally in this movie does the same thing that all the Franks do, and he raises hell. He behaves badly. He's an adult that really can't grow up, and a lot of Europeans thought that movie was sad because of that, because he was like, getting drunk and doing drugs and stuff, and just couldn't really get his act together and grow up, and it was kind of sad. And a dark movie in that kind of way. So that's what Frank did. And he does that throughout the movie, and he kind of, his addictions and substance abuse disorder, let's say, causes him to almost sacrifice his family. His family doesn't want to have good relations with him anymore because of that. So we have that one, and then we have another one. See here, we have the movie Brimstone. So we have the 2016 movie Brimstone. All right. In this movie, we have Paul Anderson, who plays Frank. Paul Anderson in this movie, he owns women. He's basically, okay, we'll describe the movie a bit. Frank in this movie is a character that the protagonist in this movie is played by Dakota Fanning meets later, and Frank is generally the antagonist, one of the few antagonists in the movie, and she meets up with Frank when she's older, when she runs away from home, and Frank owns a brothel. He owns a brothel. Which is called the Inferno, which is an apt name for, what he does. He's basically trying to raise hell and do the same thing that all the Franks do in every movie. So anyway, long story short, Frank owns women. He hurts women because he's a pimp. He has to, beat them up and keep them in order. And he murders a man of numbers in a gunfight in this movie because he has some disagreements with them. So that's generally what we see in these movies. Nothing they do in the cinema is by mistake. It's by design. They do this to program us, and the sorcery tends to work on a lot of people, mostly because a lot of people don't see it. So they just shrug it off and they don't get it. And most of them don't want to get it. Most people don't want to, in the words of Russian vids, most people don't want to know that they've been lied to their whole lives. They experience something called cognitive dissonance if they do. And so sometimes it's best that, if they avoid not knowing these things that I know, which is why they restrict what some people can view on the internet. If you're viewing my videos, most likely you're a person who can handle being lied to your whole life, and good for you. You're allowed to know the truth. Otherwise, they feel that you probably couldn't handle the stress from knowing that, this entire reality of ours is rigged and we exist in some kind of matrix that they formed around us. And I'll get into that in later videos about this matrix that they have formed around us. So I hope all of you have a good day, and God bless.